Hey guys, and welcome back to another one of my videos. Now today I'm bringing you the £850 AMD based PC build for the start of January 2017. Let's get started. So to kick things off, we are using the AMD FX 9590 clocked at 4.7 GHz with 8 cores. If we just click on it here, it costs actually I'm not going to say the prices because they do vary. You could just click on the link in the description and look at the price and it'll be the most up to date. This turbo clocks to 5.0 GHz, has 8 cores as I just said, and uses 220 watts. 220 watts, I do agree, is a lot for a CPU, but then again, when this compares to some of the lower end i7s, then yes, you kind of do have to expect it to use a lot of power to actually be a competitor of one of them at a fraction of the cost, as you can clearly see. Now to call that, we're going to use the Cooler Master Sidon, I think that's how you pronounce it, could be completely wrong, I don't really know. 120V, which I'm guessing stands for 120mm because that's the fan size on this, and it is 76.0 cubic foot per minute. That's how much air the fan moves. Obviously you can change the fan on this if you wished. If you wanted to put 2 on, I think you can sandwich the radiator in it with 2 fans, so if you wish to do that, then please go ahead and do it. Send pictures. Yes, the radiator size is 120mm, so it'll fit in most cases. The noise level is 6.5 decibels all the way up to 27 decibels, and I'm guessing that is the different speeds of the fan. As there is 800 RPM to 2400, so I'm guessing at 800 RPM it's 6.5 decibels loud, and at 2400 RPM it's 27 decibels loud. It fits all your not all, most of your AMD sockets, which I think that is all of them, or all the new ones, and most, if not all, the Intel sockets, or the main ones. It's a closed liquid cooler, so you do not need to include any liquids yourself. It's all there, you don't need to change anything on it. For the motherboard, housing all the components, well, I suppose this case houses all the components, but you know what I mean. We have the, well, actually it'd be good if we read the name, the ASRock 970 Performance ATX AM3 Plus motherboard. If we go here, zoom in on this picture, we have 2 PS2 ports, let's just zoom in, which are for your old school mouse and keyboards. If you're doing anything in the BIOS and your USB peripherals do not work, you might want to just try a PS2 mouse and keyboard. You also have 4 USB 2.0 ports with 3 USB 2.0 headers. You also have 4 USB 3.0 ports with 1 USB 3.0 header. You have your normal audio input/outputs, and you have digital audio output. You also do have a gigabit Ethernet port above your 2 USB 2.0 ports. We just zoom out quite quickly. The socket on this is the AM3 Plus, which houses the 9590 and will also house the 8320E, 8350, 8320, and so on, the 4300 and the 6300. You get what I'm on about. It can have DDR3 at 1066 MHz, 1333 MHz, 1600 MHz, 1800 MHz, 1866 MHz, 2100 MHz, and 2400 MHz. We're using 1600 MHz as that is the best for the price. It does support up to 64 GB of RAM, so if you wanted to buy another set of 16 GB set, you could have up to 32 with the set you already own, so that would be 4 DIMMs of 8 GB each, which would then effectively give you 32 GB. It does support RAID, so you can have multiple hard drives in a RAID array of your choice, I'm guessing. It doesn't have onboard video, but when you're spending this much money on a motherboard, I wouldn't expect it to have it, because I definitely would expect you to put a graphics card in it, or multiple, as this does support Crossfire and SLI. The SATA is SATA 6 gigabit per second, so it does 6 gigabits per second, which is amazing for the SSD that I'm going to be including, and will support the blazing fast speeds of reading and writing. And the Ethernet port is gigabit Ethernet. The memory for this build, as I just did mention earlier, is 16 gigabytes and is 2 8GB DIMMs. It's DDR3 1600 megahertz memory. I'll show you some pictures of it. It's PNY Anarchy. It's got black heat shields on it with blue accents. And that's it. Here's the prices. It's 240 pin DIMM. It's just your average 1.5 volts. And for the storage of this, we have two different devices. We have a solid state drive by OCZ Trion, which is 240 gigabytes. We can just quickly go on that one now. This, I would recommend you just putting your OS and your games such as GTA 5. I know when I play GTA 5 on my computer, I don't experience the loading screens that I did on my PS3, sorry. I wish I had a PS4. No, I really don't. I have a PC. But I don't experience some of the loading screens I did on my PS3. Although with an SSD in my computer, I would experience even less. But unfortunately, I can't afford a SSD, and I did buy a microphone with some of my Christmas money, and I'm trying to save my pocket money for computer upgrades in the future, mainly a processor. To hold all your data and large chunks of data will be this Western Digital Caviar Blue mechanical drive. It's 1TB, 3.5 inch, 7200 RPM. It's an internal hard drive. Otherwise, you don't put it inside if it's external. You get what I'm about. For every pound you pay, you get 22.3 pounds. So, no, 22.3 gigabytes. No, 22.03 gigabytes. Sorry if I do have a lot of mess ups. I'm recording this raw. It's the first one. I'm just using OBS to record my monitor, and I'm in full screen on Mozilla Firefox, because it's much quicker to record like this and edit, because I found that I was spending a lot of time editing videos down and gameplay and such and such. For the video card, we're using the MSI GeForce GTX 1060 6GB version, and here's some pictures. We have two big fans and a red accent on it. Now the power connector for this is a 1 8-pin, so it'll be a 6+2 pin. I think that's how it is. I'm not too sure, but could be completely wrong. We have one DVI-D slot port, three, what are they called? Display ports? Yes, display ports. My bad. They just completely went. And one HDMI. So it will hook up to pretty much whatever you throw out. You can hook up VGA to that DVI. You can hook up display ports to those display ports, or you can get adapters, and you can hook up to pretty much anything. It has two fans. It doesn't support SLI this version, but I know that the 1070 does support SLI, and the RAM in this is GDDR5. It core clocks to 1.51 GHz, but then boosts to 1.81 GHz. Uses 120 watts compared to the CPU. The CPU uses 100 watts more, which is quite a lot of power, but you know, to get a powerful CPU, it's going to have to use a lot. Now, to hold all of the components together is the Aero called GTI ATX mid tower case. Just go on the pictures of it. It's white. It looks quite how do I put it, like futuristic in a way. I think it looks quite nice, and I would like this as a computer case. I like the black and white contrast. I think it does look nice. It's just my opinion, really. Now on the front we have two USB 2.0 ports, one USB 3.0 port, your normal audio input and output, so your microphone or your line in, you can set it as, and a headphone out or speaker out if you want that. You've got a power button there and a reset button there, and I'm guessing they are two fan controllers at the top there. Could be wrong, I do not know. Then you have 3 5.25-inch external drive bays, which in them you can put a drive cage which can hold up to 5 hard drives. I think they take up 3 of those bays. And then it has 3 2.5-inch bays, so you can have up to 3 SSDs just in the 2.5-inch bays, or it has 3 3.5-inch bays which you can buy drive cage holder things, which will hold a 2.5-inch SSD or hard drive in a 3.5-inch bay, or you could just put 3 3.5-inch mechanical drives in there. It supports ATX, micro ATX, and mini ATX motherboards, and it does have USB 3.0 ports, as I said. The maximum video card length is 310mm. Just go back, and the final two. I've totally lost it. Components, there we are. The power supply powering the whole build is the EVGA 600 watt 80 plus certified ATX power supply. The reason I went with 600 instead of 500 is just because I don't think that 500 would cut it for the CPU, especially if you overclock that, and you did overclock your graphics card. 500 watt would not cut it one bit, and it could have some power spikes. The efficiency certification is 80 plus. That is how trustworthy this is, and it's been tested. It has 2 PCI Express 6+2 pin connectors, which means you have 2 8-pin connectors basically, and the graphics card we're using only uses 1 8-pin, which is good, and you have room to upgrade if you buy new graphics cards which support SLI and you want to put them together, or if you bought just a bigger graphics card that might have needed a 8-pin and a 6-pin, or 2 6-pins, or 2 8-pins even. I do know that some do take that. Now for the fan on the case, I chose a white and black one because this will be on the outside of the case, and it'll be the inside of the case, but you will see. So the white and black will go with the white and black case. It's just an Arctic F12 Pro, 54 cubic foot per minute fan, 120 millimeters, so it'll fit right onto that case. It's black and white, as I said, 1500 RPM, and it's a fluid dynamic bearing in it. Cost efficient with exceptional performance apparently, so I've not tested this. I do not have the money to test lots of products. I'd love to, but I just don't. So overall, this does come to that price there, £875. Now, I know the budget is £850. When I built this, that said £861. The prices have gone up since I've recorded. I do when I build them, I let them sit and see if they go up. If they go up above £30, I won't do the video. But in this case, they've only gone up like £20 on average. I'm not going to say a definite how much they've gone up because the video will be staying the same price, but the actual link will change. If you can't afford that much money, or however much it is now, wait for it. It might go down a little bit, or just change some of the parts for cheaper parts. I would definitely recommend this to anybody really looking and getting a PC. It is ridiculously powerful, this computer. If you for that budget, definitely. I don't know about the Intel. I obviously can't do the FPS side of things and test benchmark it. I'd love to. Again, if I can't afford enough to buy lots of fans and keep testing them, then I clearly can't afford to buy the whole PC. Well, I can afford that fan. I could afford a lot of them fans right now, but I just don't want to waste my money on just buying one fan to test when I could be saving that for something else, such as a CPU upgrade. If I do upgrade my CPU, I would definitely make sure to make a video on it. Now, as I did say earlier, I can't remember, but I'm recording this differently. I'm using OBS because it's just much quicker and saves me so much time in editing. I know there's no gameplay, but what can you do? Now, last but not least, Mad here. When we reach 75 subscribers, I will make a video on the Mad PC. I'm not going to say any more. I can't remember what CPU it's using. Well, actually, I'm not going to say anymore because saying anymore would spoil it a bit. But anyway, guys, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and don't forget to like the video if you liked it. Comment down below what other components you would like to see in videos and PC builds, and don't forget to stay tuned for my next video, which is going to be an introduction to a new series coming to the channel. I'm not going to say anything about that one, but as of now, guys, stay awesome, and I will see you in the next video.